For the next 12 weeks, we're going to go around the Jersey Shore with some of the top industry leaders and exploring all the hidden gems that the Jersey Shore has to offer. And the best thing about it, we're going to do it on our tandem bike. Come check us out. Okay, so we're here, round 2 of Tour the Shore. Today we're in Belmar, and we're gonna meet Jacob Smith, and we're gonna see some of the local hotspots and some of the best houses in real estate that Belmar has to offer. So let's go Tour the Shore, Belmar. Jacob.
Bill.
Fancy seeing you here.
You too, what a nice surprise.
Were you fist pumping the DJs this morning?
Oh, you know, it's Friday morning. I was here a little late last night for Thursday Fiesta night or whatever it was.
Awesome, awesome. Hey, I know this. You can't tour the shore and come to Belmar and not visit the Jersey Shore's greatest hotspot, which is DJ's Nightclub.
DJ's is huge. It's a huge draw for Belmar, and it's really an area where I got some of my career started with summer rentals. I did a ton of summer rentals in Belmar, and this is the Mecca. This is where everyone wanted to go. There was all paths lead to DJs.
So did you get a free VIP card with every rental?
No, that would be a great gift.
That's great marketing.
They're pretty hard to come by.
Yeah, that's probably worth about $5,000 just to avoid the line. Now I'm gonna ask you a personal question if you don't mind.
Sure.
When was the last time you experienced DJs on a Thursday, Friday, or Saturday night?
Oh, probably pre-COVID, 5, 6, 7 years ago.
I know this, I always mess around my friends. It's like, look, if you're over 25, you're not allowed out in Belmar.
Yeah, the way to go, if you're over 25 and you want to come here, Friday night for happy hour, great spread, or you come on Sunday during the day. You get off the beach, you get a cocktail, listen to some music, maybe dance if you're into that. This bar's been here since 1959.
You know what I was thinking? Today maybe a little bit different, just because we're at the beach. Why don't we go walk across the street and talk about the famous Belmar Beach?
Let's do it. The New Jersey Sandcastle Contest is hosted right here in Belmar between 17th and 19th Ave. I believe it's around July 15 this year. It's a great opportunity for families to come, have fun, build a great castle. There's some incredible, professionally built castles. They have a surf contest here in September, usually after Labor Day. It's a lot of fun, a lot of people here. These are the most densely populated beaches in Belmar, and a lot of people come here to have fun.
Yeah, when I think about Belmar Beach, this is a spot to be. Another thing is the Belmar Boardwalk. You know, now it's like the Trex Boardwalk, which is good. I think it's about a 2-mile span. So I've spent many summers taking a nice little gander on the boardwalk, catching summer breeze. So this is summer at the Jersey Shore, Belmar, on the boardwalk, the beach. You got DJs behind you, literally everything that a nice adolescent could want.
Yeah, I mean, the boardwalk's gorgeous. It's been rebuilt a few times, notably after Sandy. They did put the Trex on it more recently. It's incredible looking. It's great for walking, exercising. In the off season, people, ride bikes. You can't do that during the summer, but, great spot for exercise, catching the views, people watching. It's a great spot, great place to be.
Awesome. So, hey, are you ready to tour the shore?
I'd love
Belmar?
to. On that bike?
All right, let's
go.
roll. Oh, jeez. Agent down.
This is a good spot here. You got a ton of bungalows. Most of the summer rentals that are still around, at least the group ones, are kind of in the southern part of Belmar. Groups bunk up. It was a big culture thing in the, I'm sure, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s. Internet kind of slowed it down a little bit because the demand for housing in the summer changed for kids with Instagram and the internet and online dating. But DJ's was the Mecca. That's where they all flocked to, or Bar A in Lake Como.
When people ask you for a summer rent, they ask you how far you do.
Absolutely. Usually it was how far from DJ's. And frankly, you draw like a chart, and there was an inverse relationship between demand and how far you were from DJs. Everyone wanted to be by DJs in the beach, so that was the prime spot. 16th Ave. It's beautiful now. I mean, the street's beautiful. It's up and coming. A lot of those old crummy bungalows are getting fixed up with new houses. That block we just rode on, the A block, amazing houses. Got some trees, looking good. Oh, I like it.
Nothing like a little picnic on a Friday morning. And
we're pedestrians, so we're on the right side of the street.
how long have you been in real estate for?
I graduated college in June 2004. Started in real estate in January of 05.
Nice.
I moved my license to Boardwalk Sotheby's International Realty, which was in Belmar, in December of 06. I've been with that company for a long time. I was in Belmar about 15 years. I started off in my early 20s, mid 20s, and I was peddling summer rentals. And the business grew and kind of snowballed and rolled from there. But that was my bread and butter.
And I would say, what lured you to Belmar? I mean, obviously a lot of people like to like Michael, but what was your point in Belmar?
It was honestly the investment side of it. I was always into the idea of owning and buying an investment property, a rental property, and I was sort of infatuated with the summer rentals. It was a cool culture. These kids would come down from North Jersey, Staten Island, other parts of New York, and bunk up and rent houses. I was local, so we never did that kind of stuff. It didn't make sense, but I thought it was cool. They came down and had fun and partied with their friends, enjoyed the summer, and there was big money in it. The owners of the properties got top dollar, and I saw that as an opportunity.
So you started off with invest?
Well, I always wanted to buy and invest in Belmar, but I started off by helping landlords rent out their properties here. I ultimately bought my first house in Northwest Asbury Park, pretty close to where you live now. And that's kind of what catapulted my own investment opportunities.
Cool, man. So this is where the Seafood Fest.
Just a couple weeks ago, Seafood Fest absolutely covered this whole block. Great music. I think Roddy might have played, Pat Roddy Band. He's a Belmar local. Yeah. And tons of food, beer garden, lots of fun. One year when they moved it over here, it was gridlock traffic. Like literally no one could get in or out of Belmar for hours. So they've really done a lot to manage that, but it's a really fun event. People come from all over. It's one of the early ones in that season of local festivals. It's one of the first ones.
I would say, I'd say Belmar is definitely one of the first like really popular festivals I can think of. I mean, now everyone has a festival for this and that, but I think the Belmar Seafood Festival is definitely like the original.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a guy named Richie Tarzian. I can't remember if he started it or not, but Richie Tarzian lives in Belmar. He's got this awesome mansion on the inlet, and he actually created MTV Spring Break, from what I understand. He owned a marketing company. They might be headquartered out of Asbury Park now, Passion Group, okay? Cool. But he also started a lot of those festivals, his marketing, advertising, promoting company. So he's kind of a big shot around here, and he's got a really iconic house on the river.
Well, one thing I'm looking over here as we see like in the park is like, I guess this is pretty much like a lot of the condos, a lot of the multi-families. And I'd say like over the years, have you seen like a decline in like the multi-families, a decline in like a lot of the multis getting knocked down and getting replaced by bigger luxury style homes?
In general, yes. This side of town, the north side of Belmar, which I would typically call anywhere from, let's say 11th Ave, 12th is kind of the middle, let's say. 11th Ave down to 1st Ave is kind of the north end, particularly anything 5th Ave and north. This side of town has larger lots and by nature larger houses. So there's less bungalows over here, and there always was a lower density of summer rentals. But even some nice old Victorians got taken down for an even nicer brand new house over here. And yeah, a lot of the smaller 2-families and multi-family properties have been removed. But where we just rode from, the south side of town, let's say from Lake Como to 16th Ave, which is where Belmar starts, tons of updating over the last 15-20 years. Houses came down that were just summer shacks, now a gorgeous beach house. So tons of development there, and I see even more development over time in that area. The center of town's been pretty stable. A lot of upgrading, and over the last couple of years the prices have boomed here, and there's been a huge demand for Belmar. Another great thing, which is great for an investor or even someone just buying a house, low taxes. The tax rate is relatively low here. They don't annually reassess in Belmar like most of Monmouth County does. So I would say this is an area where the taxes are particularly attractive to someone who's looking to buy an investment, whether it be a second home or a rental property.
Yeah, I remember back in the day where you could easily get a nice house under $1 million in Belmar. And right now, what would you say the price point is for like a nice beach home, like 4 bedrooms, 2.5 baths?
You can maybe get a not so nice, very average to below average house on the south end of town for around $1 million. You know, there's some stuff that's a little lower than that, but a nice house here, you're spending at least $2 million.
Wow. And I know some of the townhouses I've seen, luxury townhouses, are going for close to $2 million.
Yeah, or over. A couple of them right over here. North End Builders has done a lot of construction here. A few of the houses over here they built. They're a high-end outfit, does a beautiful product. And yeah, they just finished a really nice townhome subdivision where the White House was, which was a real iconic. Essentially, it became a rooming house forever. It was kind of an eyesore, but it was kind of a cool old Victorian with add-ons. And that was a big, hotly contested project, but the end result was beautiful condos that sold for around $3 million.
Wow. Yeah, so I think the affordability at the Jersey Shore isn't what it once was.
No.
But are you seeing a lot of summer rentals still like you did back in the day?
Not as many. It's a different market. There's definitely a changing demand here. You know, this used to be a hot spot for younger groups. While they still may come here to go to DJs and bar A and other shore nightlife, the way they choose to stay is a little different with transportation, but I'm seeing more and more families come in for a weekend or a week or a month. So that's different here. Right? There always were some coming to Belmar, but now it's a little bit more of a hot destination for a broader audience.
So more family oriented? I
would say so, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, you know, families, it's super convenient location wise. If you're driving, you're right off 195, 195 turns into 138, or Route 18, which takes you out to, you know, New Brunswick area. The Parkway is right here. Exit 98 basically feeds from Wall Township directly into Belmar. So you're literally in one of the most convenient locations accessible from Manhattan or Philadelphia.
All right, cool.
But did they make a rental over here?
Is that what you mean for yourself? You lived here or you rented it?
No, I had a winter rental.
Yeah, I sold a couple condos in that building. They resided it. It looks a little bit better. But yeah, there's a lot of condos over here. They're all like former like 1960s, just like garden style apartment buildings that got converted at some point. Not tons of them, still a couple.
Yeah, to pick them up for like 50,000.
Yeah, they're like 5 now. Yeah, 4 or something. And they really desperately want balconies, a lot of them, like this building. Over here, the entry price is about 1.2 for land for a 50 to 150. That's the north side of town, I would say. I'd say on the other side of town, yeah, probably about 900 for like a 40 by 100 conforming lot, maybe a little more even. So yeah, this side of town, I would say 2.5 mil for new construction. It's kind of like the new sort of normal price. It can go up from there, but 2.5 to 3 is about where most settle for in Belmar. That White House up there, let's go up a little bit. We'll just do a Yui, but that's Richard Tarzan's house. It is an absolute castle.
Oh, I remember seeing. Has he owned that for a long time?
Forever, as far as I know. I'm sure it's 80s or 90s, whenever he started. You know, it's about as Malibu or, you know, Cali mansions as you can get.
I remember seeing statues in the backyard when I was on a mission boat.
You know what? Let's go this way. So this is the prime inlet terrace location. Hopefully the bridge is open so we can get the other side. Porsche.
All right.
We're at Piano Plaza in Belmar. 9th and Main, beautiful spot. Hot Mess Studio, moved from Asbury over to here. Used to be where my office was located, ironically. But this plaza is super cool. Randall Restaurant, right behind us we have the Belmar Mall, which is better known as Restaurant Row. Over here is the David Sanchez piano. He was the pianist for the E Street Band, Bruce Springsteen. Recently they dedicated that piano to him. I believe he might have played. And it's just a great spot. Around here you've got lots of shops and restaurants. This is really where most of the action in Belmar is, especially at night.
And I know Surf Taco, 10th Ave Burrito, which is famous for diners.
Absolutely. Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives. Yeah, they featured his mole. Yeah, 10th Ave Burrito actually started on 10th Ave. It was a little hole-in-the-wall shop. And then Brian Katz, the owner, he expanded the business, moved it over to this corner. And he, got a liquor license, did a lot of marketing with Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives, and really grew that business. There's also a great ceviche place, Hojitos, my favorite sandwich shop is right in here. There's an Indian place, there's a Greek place, a lot of great food. And yeah, like you said, Surf Taco right over here. There's a Rodizio, Flames on the corner if you want to do some Brazilian steak. Chad and I, we could do a lot of all you can eat over there, chop it up. And there's a lot of different places to do yoga and exercising. A lot of service-oriented businesses around here.
And what I see is it looks like a lot of storefronts with the apartments up top, which I guess has been new the last like 15 years of living on Main Street in Belmar.
Yeah, so a few of these buildings here, like the Vault, which used to be a bank, that was the old Bank of America. They redeveloped that building and it's got some retail at the bottom, condos up top, or apartments. Same with the building on the corner of 8th. A lot of the development on Main Street has been this mixed-use type buildings. And then you'll see a lot of the historic buildings, a lot of the older buildings that were here, in the 20s, 30s, and 40s, have storefront, apartment on top. It's just kind of got that little downtown feel. It's a beach town with a little downtown. Pretty sleepy, but it's a great spot.
Cool. All right, so where's the last thing that we have to see in Belmar?
I mean, you can't come to Belmar without going to the marina, which is basically right behind us. You got a marina with a great restaurant, a bait and tackle shop, and also there's a train station. It's New Jersey Transit, has direct routes to Hoboken, Bayhead. You can transfer to go to Manhattan. It's really convenient, and it's also one of the reasons Belmar is such a great destination.
All right, so let's check it out.
Let's do it.
Now
Belmar.
We're at the 9th Ave Pier at the marina.
Belmar Marina, great spot. We got Marina Grill, which is really a sweet place if you want to get a cocktail, lunch, dinner, dessert, and have a view.
So this is where I come on a Friday night, as opposed to the other side. DJs are bar. This is more my speed, where you get a nice cocktail, a nice meal, and you're in bed by 10.
Candidly, me too. But yeah, 9th Ave Pier is awesome. Dine on the dock, order some seafood, maybe a lobster roll.
And we still have the fishing boats.
Absolutely.
That have been, I guess, a staple for Belmar Marina forever. Like getting out on the party boat and go for night blue fishing.
Absolutely, the party boats. There's even some commercial fishing boats here. And you can rent a slip if you have a little dinghy. You can rent a boat from Belmar, go out on the water. But a lot of these are public-owned splits, and it's a pretty cool spot.
So you have the beach to the Shark River Inlet, Shark River.
And you got, this is part of Neptune over here, Seaview Island, where you got the 3-level townhomes. Pretty good location. I think that was basically man-made little piece of land there, island if you want to call it that. I think it might have been a landfill at some point. I'm not positive about that, but I want to say it might have been. But yeah, now it's beautiful condos with a great view.
I remember you picked those up for 300. Now they're 700, 800,000.
Yeah, the ones in the end are probably and probably worth it because it's
$1 million views, right?
This is why people want to come to Belmar.
And this is why people vacation here. Families to the adolescents who want to get the nightlife, you get the beach. You can go fishing. Belmar has a little something for everybody.
Even the lessons.
Yeah.
Or the adolescents.
Exactly.
It's your word of the day, Bill.
Yeah, so Yeah, I appreciate the time, and thank you for exploring the shore with Jacob, who has a wealth of knowledge, ton of experience, and
Phil, thanks for having me.
Appreciate the time.
It was awesome getting a good ride in, got a little exercise, learned a little bit about you, talked about Belmar, and man, you couldn't beat this day.
Yeah, what a beautiful day. So,
Yeah, good luck with the rest of your series. I can't wait to see them.
thank you. Appreciate it.
You got it.